but I don't know if they want to go that all in because I definitely don't like the Jug Void matchup. We'll see, I guess.
Certainly not late game, but like a Jug, Venge, Beastmaster is a pretty crazy trio in terms of playing fast, and there are certainly some
Marana,
additions
okay.
you could make. But Priestess of the Moon, she was getting picked a lot at the beginning of this patch, and now we're seeing her a bit more hit or miss into a very quick Jakiro pickup for Cyber Legacy.
Yeah, this is another hero that actually does quite well against Beastmaster. Double slow between the Dual Breath and Liquid Fire. During the mid game, you can obviously just macro Pyre into the Chrono. Feels very nice. Also very good at objective taking, which I think is a little bit of an issue that Cyber Legacy had last game, and they had to fix it with a Pugna, I believe was their overall last pick. So that hero kind of checks a few boxes that Cyber Legacy's lineup didn't currently have right now. The Chrono Synergy, the push. Morphling, okay. E-Blade Buyer can definitely group up around this hero. He is quite tanky. They're going to need some hero now on Cyber Legacy that either offers a tremendous amount of lockdown and burst or is a natural vessel carrier as a 3 position. So who does that you can also play against Beastmaster? It's a bit tricky. They could go with like an ABBA if they want to go more along the traditional line of let's just be able to enable our 5-man, but they would feel so bad to play into late game Morphling. I'm not sure, honestly, what Cyber Legacy are going to go with here.
I mean, I do like burst damage against Morphling. I don't know if Lina is at all in their repertoire, but heroes, I mean, they've already got their support, so Lion's out.
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of a 3.
Okay.
Not necessarily a mid right now.
Okay.
I mean, they could pick their mid if it was just some ambiguously strong laner.
I mean, they don't have last pick anyway, so that was why I was thinking about mid.
Yeah.
And like you said, Lina's pretty. I mean, Queen of Pain, another one, like has pretty good burst damage against Morph. Maybe I'm too focused on mid. They take Void Spirit.
Void Spirit, yeah, of course. Okay.
Is he mid or off lane though?
Could be either.
All right.
Could be either. They are going to protect it with an Ember ban, so it leads me to believe that it's probably just going to be mid.
Okay.
Which I would say is fine. Not too many heroes that really just straight up own Void Spirit in the mid lane. And it is a vessel carrier, which is, I think, something that they would need up against the Morph. He does offer burst damage. He buys vessel. He's backline reach as well, which they did not have in the first game. So now there's a hero that could theoretically threaten the Venge outside of the Chrono being cast, which is always nice. So now Khan, like looking at their lineup, it is not really a ton of control. Like obviously you have Roar and like Arrow or Venge stun into Arrow, but there's no oomph to their team fight, right? There's nothing that you're looking at in the 5v5 and you're going, man, we really got to watch out for this spell in particular. They don't really have that. I would like to see something that can deal with the mobility on Cyber Legacy, because Cyber Legacy already have Chrono, Void Spirit as catch. So they've kind of got their bases covered on that. Like just having a Chrono is good enough of a team fight utility, I feel, this game.
All right.
That
I want to throw one out there. This could be a ban for Khan or a last pick for Cyber Legacy. How about Timbersaw?
Timber off lane?
Yes. Thinking it's a Void Spirit mid, Faceless Void safe lane, off lane.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad.
Very mobile, like some burst against Morphling, good with Void.
Yeah, it also buys an item that is very good against Khan's team, which is a Lotus.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that being a pick. They do ban the Legion, makes sense. Strong Dispel against the Beastmaster and the Marana combo. A hero that would also lane very well against basically anything that Khan have currently.
Pango could also be an option in terms of threes. Still in. I don't know if it's something Cyber Legacy play, but
I think every offlaner plays Pango. It's like a guilty pleasure, you know? One of those heroes where you're like, everyone hates you for playing it, but you just gotta play it. Like it's too much fun to not play.
All right, now this one's crazy, but Night Stalker for Cyber Legacy. How about that? Oh my God, there it is, the ban. I sniped it, Draskell. Oh, that feels good, buddy.
Yeah, Night Stalker is coming back.
He actually really is. Like I saw him in a game yesterday and was like, holy shit, I didn't think this hero would do well, and he like destroyed because he had a good lane.
Yeah, they're banning these heroes that have really solid lane and can also be very chaotic in the fight to deal with. So like the AoE silence is a problem. Being able to dispel combos is a problem. Now DK I did not see coming.
No. And
I mean, it makes sense. Like, I kind of get where they're coming from. It's another blink buyer. It's more catch. I think it's gonna be DK mid then. I mean, they can audible their lanes however they want because like Void Spirit or DK are fine
yeah,
walking to the mid lane. Let's see.
they can react to this pick for sure. What do Khan need now? Most likely they're mid.
Up until their last pick, I would say it was a great puck game, but you don't want to play puck really in lane against Void Spirit or DK. So it's kind of...
Do you want to take like a Queen of Pain? She's pretty... A lot of heroes feel susceptible to Void. Like Invoker's pretty greedy, but they take Death Prophet. Okay. All right, nice and safe.
Yeah, it's super safe. I mean, both drafts are pretty good in my opinion. Again, I can't really like hugely favor one either way.
I think I like Cyber Legacy a little bit more because they have so many forms of initiation. Like that factor we talked about last game with the Void, it's the opposite this time. Like you don't have like a big black hole type ult, but you've got Rubik Blink Telekinesis, Jakiro with a Yule's Ice Path, Void Spirit with all of his bullshit, Dragon Knight with a Blinker Shadowblade Dragon Tail. Like Void has such an easy game relative to what we saw last time. I think Dream is going to get out of control.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I think the one thing that's going to be tricky is that Chrono, just like it was last game, isn't super good this game, like as a teamfight utility, just because Morphling can get his Morph off, there's defensive swap, there's Roar inside of the Chrono, and if you Chrono someone like DP, even if she has, Exorcism going, it's not really like a guaranteed fight win.
Yeah.
So there needs to be multiple avenues of like initiation on the side of Cyber Legacy, which in the previous game they didn't really have. In this game they do have. They have the Void Spirit. They have a DK who I can only assume is going to eventually buy a Blink Dagger. So I think that's kind of what you were leaning towards when you were talking about how they have like more ways to like kind of play the fights. So I don't know, man. It's going to be close. I don't know if I can favor one team this game. Yeah. I kind of have to see the lanes. I know it's a cop-out, but I just like... I'm looking at it and I'm like, they both have good stuff.
There is a lot of catch also on the side of Khan, no doubt. Arrow, swap.
Yeah. And they have no save, by the way. Yeah. So if those spells connect, that hero is probably just dead.
You're definitely right about that. Guess that's where that LC ban feels particularly good.
I think the key piece here for Cyber Legacy is just the DK, because this lane, like Morphling versus DK, you can't harass DK. You just can't. Like Breathe Fire damage reduction on your hero just feels so bad.
Yeah.
And you can't like over morph Agi either. And then during the mid game, you're gonna have the Fade Bolt damage reduction, which is 34%, and the Breathe Fire damage reduction, which is an additional 25. So you're gonna kind of be like a noodle if you get hit by both of those spells. You're gonna need like E-Blade or something to be able to hurt people.
One of the games that you and I casted, we saw this off-lane combo, the DK with the 4 Rubik, and just the Fade Bolt with the Breathe Fire stacked on top of each other in the lane. It's almost like 50% damage reduction or something. It's not actually that much, but it feels real bad when you look at the actual numbers in the lane. So it not only sets up...
They don't stack additively, right? There's no way.
I don't know, actually. I have to look at the math. Rubik's only 10% at level 1. I forgot how much it ramps up.
It goes to 34 at max rank.
I know, the additively stuff is weird. A lot of times in Dota, it seems like things by default stack additively, and then it's really broken, and then they change it to stack multiplicatively. So it should all be multiplicative, but for some reason, a lot of things start additive. I know CDR on Dazzle was like that. So when the neutral items came out, shit was dumb busted. If you got the, what's the tier 4 one called? I always forget.
Spell Prism?
Spell Prism. There was a window where you could get 100% uptime on Grave. It's fantastic. Once you hit level 18.
I didn't know about that. That's hilarious.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Got patched pretty quick, but that was a fun week, buddy. That was a real fun week.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's some good stuff. So, a couple of key things for the early lane. Petashara down here should be... more or less free farm. I think Naive will most likely get pressured here. Not sure really what the Vengeance is going to be able to do.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on this hero. I don't know if we talked about it the other day, but she has moments where she can look really good, but I think harder to execute with than a lot of other 5s.
Well, she has a distinct purpose in this game, which I think is important. Well, 2, if you want to be technical about it, I guess. Naive actually just dies. Okay? He just dies. Level 1 Morph is not that good. Can't tank that much damage.
Well, First Blood brought to you by EGB.com.
Yep.
They've got bets available on all these games, and you can go to EGB.com, click below the stream, and you get a deposit bonus. They're the partners, folks. All right, sorry, Draskell. What were you saying?
I actually completely forgot. Not your fault. Like Naive die. We'll blame him.
Where were we
what
going?
was I saying?
We had a transition point. I don't know. Mid's pretty even though. Pikachu and Magical trade and farm.
This is what happens when you get old. You just all of a sudden forget what you're talking about.
I remember my 20s like it was yesterday.
God, everyone says that, but to me, no way, dude. It was so long ago to me. I don't know how people can have that mindset.
Well, I'm not sure how deep into the 30s you are, so I'm only 30
I'm
right
turning
now.
33. I'm turning 33 in January.
Wow. I didn't realize you were so much older than me, Draskell. You really are the dad
I'm basically
of Dota.
a dinosaur. Like, let's be real.
Are you? You and P-Flax might be two of the oldest that we've got now. I guess Nahaz, he might take the cake.
Oh yeah, Ted's like 40, I think.
He like doesn't look the way he doesn't age right. I don't know. He's got those British genes where he just. If you told me he was 25, I could maybe believe it.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Ted is he looks good for his age, no doubt. Not me though. I was the kid who was like, you're like 16 years old and you just never get carded anywhere for anything ever.
A blessing and a curse, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So, laning wise, everything looking to be about even.
It really
Morph
is.
Morph is doing a bit better than I had expected originally, but he did die once, kind of silly death.
But still, his CS is like within one of the void. Just the difference of denies, and same with the offlaners. So we've basically got a first blood, and outside of that, it's been darn even.
The one advantage that Cyber Legacy are going to have going into the mid game is how often Magical is going to be able to move around the map versus what the DP can do, because it's like a concerted effort when you have Exorcism up and you go in and you get your objective in your fight or whatever, but it's a much longer cooldown. The Void Spirit really only has to wait on his Astral Step charges, and then he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, dissimulate. Pretty handy. Venge comes in, shows Magical who's boss, says, "Hey, buddy, how you like that armor?"
Yeah, they're just fighting over the bot rune. Xstat losing this fight pretty badly, though.
The 4-minute flip. He does still secure it for
Oh.
Pikachu, though, and it is a regen. No bottle on Pikachu, but
And a
it
kill.
does set up a kill.
Oh, maybe
No! Stick charges.
Right. He had a Fairy Fire, too, right? Wasn't it both? Or am I crazy?
Might have been both. It looked like a big heal,
And-
so.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he healed a lot.
I had.
And this regen is going to make Magical ultra sad.
Yep. And that's why we call it the 4-minute flip, because it has the ability to completely turn a lane.
I don't really know the solution to that problem.
What,
There are definitely
from like a
like
game
4-minute
design
runes.
perspective, like how do we
Yeah,
fix it?
because sometimes the 4-minute rune just completely destroys the lane.
Yeah.
Like, it's either a DD or a regen. Sometimes even a haste rune can be super impactful. And it just feels, so bad. Because both supporters did what they were supposed to do. They went for the rune.
Yeah.
And then you just don't get it, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, well, it's still the coin flip. I mean, sometimes you see that just go, one person goes top, one person goes bottom, and they just commit to it being a 50-50. And it kind of sucks that a coin flip can really determine the outcome of the next 2 minutes. I mean, I guess the solution in the past, we used to have 0-minute power runes, right? And we had 2-minute power runes. So do we just delay it? Do we make it a 5-minute power rune, the 5-minute flip?
I'm okay with it. Like no runes except for bounty spawning until 10 minutes. Like, I'm perfectly okay
Is
with
that
Bot lane
because you're
again, naive.
a purist, though? Does that take away from some of the hype for the viewers? The first 10 minutes of the game already kind of boring? Make it even
what I
more
would-
boring?
Oh, top lane Slayer's just dead here.
Darn.
Got murdered by Beast. But yeah, the whole thing with me is I would move the runes back to the river, like bounty runes, but just on both sides. So that way there's still a point of contention. It's just not something that is layered in RNG and kind of like heavily swings the lane one way or another. And sometimes you just have no control over it, and I get that there have to be RNG elements in the game,
Yeah.
but I feel like those things have too much of an impact at an early stage.
Especially since mid is already the most delicate lane in terms of it being a 1v1. And a lot of times it's like, okay, nobody's made a mistake yet. Who's going to be the first one to make a mistake? And then that's the edge that the other can really push. And, you know, the snowball
especially if
begins.
the matchup is bad, right? Like if the matchup is bad and one guy who has the favorable matchup gets a really good rune, then you're just like, I want out status. You're just like, God, this is just so bad.
Yeah. Now, Magical here. He is level 6. Does have another Astral Step. Gilger. Ooh, he gets caught by the taunt. Does have a little heal. No more Astral Steps. And now is Magical going to be punished for this? Void comes in. Stunned up.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Time walked into the arrow.
Damn.
He literally time walked into the arrow.
All right.
That's an oof and a half.
We call that a swing and the miss.
No, it hit.
Well,
like it hit him right in the face.
From the Void's perspective.
His lack of face.
Yeah, that's brutal. Okay. Well, a good start for Khan then, I guess. Recovered since feeding that first blood with the Morphling. Now Naive will take a little edge in his relatively tough lane. Now just solo against the DK, so not quite as bad, but as you can see, Pedushara still keeping the pressure on. Soul Ring now, level 3 Breathe Fire, so he knows what he's doing. He's pressured.
It's a very easy lane for DK.
Yeah.
He gets those little pot shots on the tower, make sure that he's applying his Corrosive Breath, getting the maximum DPS as he can.
Unhealable
good stuff,
damage.
min-max. They did have the DP down here, level 4 Siphon. They can kill him if they have a third, but I don't know if they can do it with just these two. I guess they just really want Naive to get EXP. That's why they move him mid.
I guess so. It feels like kind of an odd rotation, but maybe just getting him out of the lane with the DK. Guess he does lane better against Void Spirit.
It's definitely a lot easier for him to inhabit this part of the map, no doubt. No real big movements from either team happening just yet. I mean, I guess this is kind of expected just based on heroes. We saw the Exorcism popped mid. Pikachu got some chip damage on the tier 1 mid. It's actually below half, so good amount of damage done there. Probably not going to see a lot happen until at least the supports on the side of Cyber Legacy or 6. They really want that Macro Pyre and Chrono combo to get a kill.
3 kills in 8.5 minutes. Both sides still playing pretty tight. Necro Book 1 up on Cheshire Cat, reading about the demonic ways.
His EXP is a lot better this game. Like last game, he had the swap with Naive to give the TB a spot on the map that he could actually farm. And he ended up like rotating mid and playing with his team a lot more, which means he was like super underleveled for a large portion of the game, which did end up hurting him. I'm not sure if they're going to have to do the same thing this time around. I doubt it. Looks like they were glancing at the DK bottom here, but not going to commit. Some TP reaction. No problem.
Thinking about it. And again, Dream thinking about
There's just no damage.
Yeah.
There's no damage to put into it at the moment. They need something.
Starting to pressure this tier 1 tower up top. Cheshire Cat pulls the wave through.
This Beastmaster is like solo zoning 2 heroes. They're like, we can't really walk up.
Chrono down bottom. They find it onto the Death Prophet, but where's the damage, as you said? Now the turn onto Void. Time Walk is going to pick him back up. Pikachu still holding the Exorcism for now, but out of Spirit Siphons. There's the Exorcism deployed. Feeling like he can get this DK perhaps. Time Walk, but Magic Missile chases.
1 second on Time Walk.
A little more, no arrow, and a lot of ultimates used. No kills, though, for either side.
They'll be able to get some damage on the tier 1, though, at least, for Khan. They know Chrono's down. Like, that's why I was saying, like, even using Chrono in this game is going to feel bad for a long time. There just needs to be... It's kind of weird that you would open Void and then just not have any damage to put into it, like, prior to the supports having 6 or,
yeah, it's like,
you know, some real big itemization coming out.
Macro Pyre is pretty much your big spell to combo with. That's it. And it's like a starter. You know, that's okay. Speaking of Macro Pyre, I mean, Slayer's going to get killed.
All things considered. Yeah, they do murder the Jakiro. But this is so weird, right? They lose their tier 1 mid when they basically go for a kill on one of the tankiest heroes on Radiant under his own tier 1 with no damage. It just feels very like disconnected, right? Like there's not a whole lot on Cyber Legacy that is making sense to me in terms of how they are moving around the map. Like for Khan, they put Morphling mid because Magical was there and they know there's no Vessel. Okay, it's pretty safe for him to inhabit this part of the map. The Beastmaster is zoning 2 heroes top. He's taking a tier 1 by himself. And then the dive bottom just fails. So like what has gone well for Cyber Legacy in like the last 5 minutes? Because I'm not really seeing a whole heck of a lot here. I'm waiting for, maybe the DK to get blanked, but he's still far away. The Jakiro is still level 5. Did the Rubik take the tome, by the way? Did you see?
Good question. I'm not sure. He must have.
Yeah, because like even with Macropyre, there's no guarantee, right? Like there is a chance that there could be a swap available when the next chrono comes out, because it's still over a minute. The Venge is 4. Maybe he has a tome. I'm not sure. I can't actually. Where is his courier? Where is the Venge courier? Okay, he doesn't have it. So if he doesn't have tome, maybe there will be one more chrono without swap. But as soon as that spell comes up, it's going to be the same story as game 1, where like, how many chronos did we see where he just only killed the support? Like 5, 6 maybe?
Yeah. You're right. It is definitely trending very much in favor of Khan. I guess it feels like the Beastmaster hasn't completely taken over yet. Like they just killed that tier 1 tower top. It's 11 minutes, not particularly early compared to some of the averages we've seen with Beastmaster in the off lane. They're not like getting pummeled. It's 3-1 at 11 minutes, so they're trying to
just need time.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, they just need time. I mean, it looks bad because you're giving up map control against a team with a Beastmaster and a Morph. And last game I kind of doubted their timing because of the TB and like how scary he was in that game and how the chronos never really felt that good, but they still managed to turn it around. So if they did it once, maybe they can do it again.
I also think there's a good chance this Venge is not level 6. Let's see. Is that the tome coming? Oh, it is. All right. Never mind.
He must have bought it right after the pause because I checked his courier and I didn't see it. Yeah. Oh, his courier is 6 slotted.
Yeah, dude.
That is so many items.
This thing's yoked. All right. Well, Venge just got a nice power spike. Jeez. Cheshire Cat, what happened there, buddy? In a little bit deep. See, these are the things that make me feel like it's not that bad for Cyber Legacy. Yes, the current game state is not in their favor, but if you're getting a free kill on the Beastmaster at 11 minutes, is he just a little overextended there? I guess he had a ward down, so felt a little safer.
Yeah, I mean, that type of death, when everything on your team is down, like someone's going to die on the map, right? No exorcism. You don't even have Moonlight yet. So it is kind of expected that there would be some kind of move on the map for Cyber Legacy to take control. And, you're the obvious target if you're the only one showing in lane.
Well, yeah.
That's just kind of like
my question is,
gang.
Why is he showing there? It's like the tower's down. Your teammates aren't anywhere nearby. You don't have cooldowns. There's no objective here anymore. So just go farm the jungle or something. Am I crazy? Have I just been casting with you too long, Draskell, so I'm nitpicking here?
I mean, you have to nitpick if you're at this high level. Like, you don't have a choice. It's like you either nitpick every play that you make or you just stagnate. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So the important thing is to take away the correct thing from the play, which I feel like a lot of people struggle to do. In that situation, I feel like someone was going to die, but he was the most obvious target because of where he was on the map and the fact that he was one of the only heroes showing. So yes, he should have been maybe a bit more aware of that. Right. But just don't... Yeah, you can't be... It's kind of hard to always take away the correct thing.
Well, it's subjective too, because it's relative to like it's all relative. You did this, so the other person did that. But if you hadn't done that, maybe he would have reacted differently, and then that would have created an option. Yeah. Like it very quickly turns into a million threads.
I think in this specific situation, he probably should have not been there, like backed a bit, because he had like Hawk and Ward Vision. It can bait you a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's understandable as well. But because his team was also under tower, if they make a play on mid, it's much less likely to succeed, But you are in no man's land.
Oh, yeah. And now they are trying to push this advantage. Now the Chrono comes out. Okay, Cheshire Cat, he takes the bulk of the damage. He's going to go down. Now they go into Naive. Does still have the Aegis, of course. Swap from Excel. That's the first one. Now he'll fall. Playing a good support Venge. Keeps the Aegis alive. So... Again, it's that was a pretty aggressive movement from Khan.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting the Vessel to be out either. Even Magical, when he had his Urn, he had the Orchid on his quick buy for a while. So I thought for a little bit he was actually just going to skip or forego the Vessel altogether in favor of the Orchid. but he decided to go back, and that forces the Morph out of the fight just straight away. You don't have a Dispel for that, you just have to get out.
All right, now the initiation mid. Pikachu does not have an Exorcism here. They drop the Roar onto DK. A lot of follow-up damage there. Magic Missile. Okay, got a DK. That's a Blink Dagger up now on the Beast. Whoa, big wave form in. Big Numb.
Yeah, both teams just really clawing for map control, I guess, is the way that I would say it.
15 minutes. About to see some bounties.
Yeah, Dream's back on his Midas shenanigans again. He's almost got Maelstrom. Okay,
same
look at
build.
1,000 away. Ooh, what an arrow.
Is he okay, though?
Not enough damage, I don't think.
Ooh, the silence? The silence? They've got him.
Ooh,
Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah, if the silence hadn't been there, he would have been okay. But nice positioning there. Nice comboing of spells from Khan. Get a really important kill. They're going to get some deep pushing on mid in the meantime, and bottom, Magical's just kind of hanging out, doing his thing. They have Ghost for this if they want to pop it. Yeah, you will. Okay. They're just going to commit fully to the tower.
Exorcism.
He just has, what, like 2 minutes left? Right?
Let's take a look at the timer here. Yep, 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
It expires when it says Roshan may respawn in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. It's one of those things where, like,
Yeah.
I'm really bad at timing Roche. Like, I know I'm bad at it, so I always second guess myself.
Uh-oh, arrow into Roar, magical, magic missile. That's a lot of stun lock. He actually does live, and whoa, Pikachu dies in exchange. Trying to chase down magical. Can they find him? Arrow, almost. There it is, the blink. Oh, the taunt. Excel dies somewhere in the back, and the great chase on the magical. No!
Oh,
Dream,
boy.
no! Oh, my gosh. An abysmal chrono.
Careful. Yeah, he needs to be real careful about this. One more time walk in a bad way, and he could have just fed too.
I don't use the word abysmal very often, Draskell. That was...
I think he was assuming that there were heroes hugging the tree line to just break vision or whatever.
Went for the big
Which is why
brain
he
play.
chronoed that way. Yeah, he went for the 200 IQ chrono. I mean, you know what they say, shit happens. It wasn't a good chrono. I don't think he would even think that it was a good chrono, but it's just...
no.
The fight, they have the momentum right because they kill the DP immediately, and he just wants it all. He's got like the red in his eyes. He wants everything from that fight because it would be so huge if that chrono connected. But, you know?
Yeah. There was definitely a big reward there. So I respect the, you know what, I went big because if it worked out, the payday would have been well worth it. It might have still been the positive expected value play. I'll certainly give you that.
A mid lane, Gilger.
Oh,
Is this enough damage?
I think so. Bottom's a burning. The stickiness of that macro pyre. What a great buff that was to Jakiro, by the way. That it lasts for 2 seconds
Jakiro's-
after you walk out.
Jakiro's nasty right now. Very good hero.
The lingering.
Because it's a guaranteed, what, like 200 extra damage before mitigation? So it'd be like 150 base magic cards?
Yeah, something like that. It used to
that-
feel
that-
so bad as Jakiro when you drop your ult and then it just literally walk 2 steps to the side and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Glad I
you just
ulted.
raise your eyebrow and you go, what if I just walk 1 unit this way? And then you just get really sad. All right, smoke up here from Khan. Who are they looking for? I guess they're looking for the Void, but
Do they know
a little bit
Magical's
split here.
I don't think so.
Cheshire Cat is way far away from the other two. Yeah, they know what's up now. Wards and all that stuff. They see the courier with the observer ward. They actually had one in
the classic.
Yeah, there was one in the river that spotted the courier flying from Pikachu, so
That
definite misplay.
arrow, whoa, actually a little bit close onto Magical. He is in deep, and now they've found him. He was farming in enemy territory. The double astral step onto the low ground. He makes it. A little close there, but he knows his limits.
Yeah, you see that kind of stuff in pubs all the time, by the way. Like the couriers flying over wards when you're smoked. And you're just like, wait, but I need my item. And then your smoke fails, and you're like, wow, I wonder why the smoke failed.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this weird psychological thing that's happened since they gave everybody a courier, where everybody just kind of stopped caring about microing couriers. Big Numb now, he's going to get caught trying to take back the outpost. Naive, he'll go ahead and morph into the Grand Magus. Now onto Dream. Magic Missile, not disjointed. Swap back. Chrono, and not going to yield a hell of a lot. Yule's Scepter setup. Silence. Dream does make it to the low ground. Radiant in hot pursuit, though. Another swap from Excel. Aggressive from Khan. They burn a lot for this, and they actually don't get that much. It's just the Rubik that they started with.
Oh, arrow?
Okay, that arrow will set it up. Now they get DK, and Cyber Legacy will make it back. Whoa, Void Spirit. Okay, does not go back in.
There's a lot of map pressure right now, but they do know the Exorcism will be down.
Well, with the buyback for Rubik, it ends up being over a 1K swing, so it is definitely a win for Khan.
Yeah.
Not
this
a big
timing
one.
This timing will end up pretty nice for them because the Roshan variants will more than make up for the lack of Exorcism, which means basically that his ult's going to be back up by the time Roshan's up, or at least it should be. So that way they can still contest. It's probably one of the last engagements they can take before having to like wait for Rosh, because Roshan can have huge implications for a team like Khan. When you're playing against things like Chrono, it's an additional save, basically. The hero just comes back to life when they get Chronoed instead of just being dead or having to be swapped or whatever. So that's always a nice thing to have.
An E-Blade on Naive will be nice. He's not that far, about halfway.
Shit's going to get real scary when that E-Blade comes out, because there are just no save items on Cyber Legacy at all. Like, Jakira bought a Veil. They're like fully committed for the damage output. They don't care about saving. It's like, no, we're gonna kill you before you kill us.
Oh,
Big Them is just goner here.
Petishara trying to save him, but no, the arrow from downtown. That poor Rubik. And even Rubik, yeah, he's trying to get Aether Lens. So no Yules, no Glimmer. You're definitely right.
Yeah, not really anything they can do about it. The only type of save you can do in that situation is like body block the arrow, but then you're putting yourself at risk, and you know, it's a Rubik. Probably just let him die.
Sorry, Ruby. And with the dieback on Big Num, he's actually sidelined for quite a while. Still 40 seconds. Magical. Oh, he's standing on a ward. Oh, that's a great ward right there. Obviously, Dire
I like
have
the
vision
positioning.
also.
Yeah, I like the positioning of Khan. Like, playing on the high ground is always one of those plays where people, if you look at it, you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. You're just on the hill. But again, in game, like, getting people to play on top of hills and stuff when you are occupying a certain place on the map is a huge deal, because vision advantage is everything. And forcing people into choke points, you know, we saw how devastating that can be in last game when Khan walked up a hill and just basically all died because Cheshire Cat blinked into a tier 3. So just playing on top of hills and waiting to break smokes and sitting in the trees to break smokes and all these plays, you know, they add up over the course of the game.
Dream is still farming well, and now making progress towards the BKB. As you said last game, this build with the Midas Maelstrom, it's a bit of a two birds and one stone. It is a great damage build, but it's also really good for farming. Maelstrom lets you clear out creep camps and split push. But he wants the BKB. Feels like he needs to live to make sure he gets off the perfect chrono.
Perfect chrono is a tough ask this game, by the way. Very tough ask.
Yeah, yeah. If he can hit Venge and Morphling, that's the dream. Venge, Morphling, and Beast. That's the real dream. That's the fantasy.
Yeah. If that happens, there was definitely a mistake on Khan. That should never happen.
Also, the Orchid is out on Magical. I like that he went for the Spirit Vessel first. Very key against both both Morphling and the Death Prophet. But Orchid also big asset for CL. They'll pressure this tier 2, but it is going to cost them a Roche. And this is Roche too, so Aegis Cheese as the BKB also comes out for Pikachu.
A free little Roshan here. Khan going to be happy with that. I mean, Chrono's up. BKB on Dream. Did you mention the BKB? Was I just
yes.
spacing out?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I was spacing out, then I apologize.
All good.
Sometimes I watch the game and I'm like thinking about the game and not always like 100% listening.
Oh, I'm with you.
That's how it works sometimes. All right, smoke here. They're going to find Dream.
Oh, the immediate BKB, though. Primal Aurora kind of mitigates it, but I think Dream still gets the safety net that he needs. Now the BKB Death Prophet running into the backline. Slayer and Perushara both getting a bit low. They still have a tier 1 tower here. They'll get a little extra armor. Pikachu, how far are we going to go? Loses the DK, they find Slayer, but it's only a Jakiro. Honestly, I think that's a win for CL.
His reaction time there was very fast on Dream. Like, he BKB'd within, like, what, quarter of a second, half a second of the smoke reveal. So, really good stuff.
Yep.
Not gonna... I mean, the BKB charge having to be used kind of sucks, because it's quite a long cooldown for the first BKB, but...
Wait, does the cooldown still change?
Doesn't it? Am I crazy? Am I living in the past?
I think you might be. Void is dead, so we'll have a moment to look it up afterwards. But now the counterplay, Excel, he's going to be in some trouble, as is Pikachu, I think. Though Naive is here. He's got the burst damage, the E-Blade. It's going to bring down Big Num once he comes back into the regular form. All right, bought a little bit of time, but
yeah,
Petty Shore also
still
dies.
decreases on use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they changed that.
It doesn't list it on the item,
yeah,
like directly, but it just says duration decreases with each use.
Oh, you're right. It just says it on it. Okay.
Yeah. You would think that it would say like 70, 65, 60, 55.
Is that what it is?
Blah,
Is it still 5 seconds per use?
It's something like that.
The mystery
I don't remember all the
continues.
exact numbers, you know. A lot of the game is played by feel. Roar here.
Now Magical's in trouble. He might still be able to make it out. Gets up to the high ground. Dissimulate. Very good. But Khan getting much more out of that fight. Chronosphere's available now, so maybe Cyber Legacy could still make something happen against this Aegis. They've still got a while to deal with it. 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, they do have the Chrono. I mean, there are situations where even against Aegis, you could theoretically Chrono in a way that would win you the fight. Like killing the Beast and the Venge or whatever in a Chrono would be great. The one scary thing is, like, defensive E-Blade can actually be a little bit of a problem here. Like, if the guy gets E-Bladed or whatever in Chrono, even if there is no swap,
All right.
it can be kind of annoying.
I don't mean to interrupt here, but I think this might be a bad tooltip on the BKB, because in 7.08, it was changed to just 70 seconds instead of scaling from 80 to 55 in 5-second intervals. Although we might see a fight here, so we'll have to check.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't be the first time a tooltip has just been wrong.
Yeah, Slayer down bottom. They found him. Magical's nearby. This is a really weird fight. They're super spread out. I think CL are going to get backstabbed. The Morphling comes charging in. Chrono on 2, perfectly placed from Dream. They sidestep the arrow. DK walks into it, though. Oh, Pedushora, that's not great. They'll still get Cheshire Cat, I think, but it's going to cost the Magical, and this fight will not go the way CL wanted. The backstab from Khan will be effective, and I think Naive getting dangerously close to that critical mass that will take us to a Game 3.
Yeah, that was near perfect execution there from Khan, like spell usage-wise. I think the one thing they might have been able to do differently is swap the Beast instead of the Morphling, because the Morphling still had Aegis. And that way, like, you force the guy to attack the guy with the Aegis instead of, you know, the Beastmaster just dying. It's a small thing, but it's one little thing they could have maybe done a bit differently there. And how long? Okay, so 1 minute on the Aegis. And, I mean, no Chrono for about 2 minutes.
They won't lose Barracks, I don't think, with the Aegis, but
yeah,
quickly getting out of control. Up top, we're going to see a go on to Dream. Outpost controlled by the Radiant. Silence. They force the BKB. Dream now looking to turn onto Excel, and that'll be a freebie. Now into the tree line we go. TP, he's good. Okay. So just to go full circle in the BKB, yeah, that was 7.08, and then there haven't been any other changes to it except 7.20 when they increased the recipe to 1450. It was a plus 75. So BKB actually hasn't been changed much, and I think that's just a relic of the past.
And the tooltip is still wrong.
So yeah, freebie on the Magical. Yeah, the tooltip's wrong, but the cooldown thing is right. You know, that part is accurate.
Yeah. Ooh, another arrow.
Gilger.
Okay, he's alone here.
Well, he does have Naive nearby. Telekinesis back, the double hop. Gilger not going to live on this one. They had detection anyway.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where as the core, you just look at your support and you go, sorry, bud. Like, this one is not a situation I can help with, but, you know, Khan getting further and further ahead. These fights are just... It's really hard for Cyber Legacy to... Like, even with that Chrono they had in the previous engagement bottom, they had so much time in the Chrono to hit heroes, and they were still really only able to get, like, what? They killed 1 hero on Khan, and they lost 4? Like, I don't know if this kind of lineup is going to have the kind of like damage and like hitting ability that they actually need to go later on into the game. Because who's going to kill Morph?
Yeah, exactly.
Like who's going to kill the DP as well?
And it's a different conundrum too. It's like last game against TB, you mentioned all that magic damage the Void could itemize to sort of counteract the insane amount of armor and survivability that TB has against all that physical. Now Morphling, unless you catch him on like a really bad morph or something, like with the E-Blade and everything else, he's just hard to burst down. I don't know that MKB is the same sort of counter item that you go, oh, okay, we got this now.
Yeah.
I guess Spirit Vessel is a key part of it, but I'm worried.
Well, Vessel is a lot less effective when the Manta's out.
Yeah, very
like
true.
As soon as the Vessel is applied, you're just going to immediately remove it, and then... He is going for Satanic 2 on the morph, so he'll just have like crazy sustain.
And I forget, noob question here. Can you morph while in Chrono? I forget what Chrono counts as.
It works if you have morphed before the Chrono lands, but you can't activate it in Chrono.
Gotcha. Okay, so you got to be preemptive. We'll see a kill onto the Jakiro. Swap to set that up.
Or wait, did they change that too? Crap, they changed morph a few times.
Yeah, I know. That's what that shit I really...
Like, I don't play morph like at all. So the last thing that I remember is that you were... Like, your morph would actually be stopped for a while in stun, even if you had already started it, and then they changed it back to where you just morph. Yeah, I think you just morph when you're stunned if you've already used it. I'm pretty sure.
I think so, too. That's my most recent memory of it, but
yeah.
Who knows?
Little chase here going on. Naive. Looking hungry.
Got the Mind Breaker as well. Another great neutral item in the hands of the Morphling. There's a double damage on the DK, though it's about to expire. 8K net worth lead now. Let's check in with our robot friends. Oh, good. 17% for Cyber Legacy. So yeah. One bash away from victory.
No damage. They just don't have damage. Like that's literally their entire lineup's problem. They have stuns, they have catch, they have all these like ways of starting a fight, but they just don't have any punching power. Like this Void needs to buy like
he's gonna go Lincoln's
an
again.
MKB or a Rapier or something.
He's going.
He's putting a lot of faith into his team with this item.
But at least he's got the Enchanted Quiver. That's a little bit of a damage boost.
Yeah, 400 every 5. It's actually pretty good. Like even on melee heroes.
I've been flamed in a couple games for using this as a position 1 melee carry, and it's like actually not a meme if you don't have better items, especially if you don't have the Orbit Destruction or anything. It's an okay placeholder.
No, for sure. There are definitely times where this will be your best damage item. Like if you don't have what is it, Mindbreaker or Orb or any of these other items. And the other thing too is it's great on heroes with slower attack speed. Like Mindbreaker becomes great if you have like crazy attack speed because it's just flat added damage per hit. But you know, in this case, if there isn't anything better, then yeah, absolutely, it's better than nothing. And I think the Orb makes more sense than the DK anyway because he's hitting the towers. You know?
Yeah, that's true. And part of the Orb also is the slow, and Void cares a little bit less. He's hitting people in Chrono. He's really committed to the Lincolns. He's basically bought out. Just one piece left. And Morph already like half an item ahead of him. Satanic up next. So from beefy to tanky.
Yeah, I don't know how a game like this, like if it just stalemates and both teams are farming, I don't know if there's ever really a point where Cyber Legacy are gonna like recover doing that, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a play needs to happen, they need to get an objective, or you know, like that backstab we saw Khan do or whatever. Something like that. Nice roar. Morph's coming in.
Arrow doesn't hit anything. Magical, still ready to fight. Exorcism
there was like
used.
2 fights.
Yeah, I was looking down bottom. Yeah, Petty Shura.
Yeah, I was looking at top, so I got you, don't worry.
Yeah, it looks like up top's going to be the only death. But CL do force out an Exorcism, so not all bad. Kind of surprised they were able to make such a clean getaway there.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, yeah, I also can't read. The BKB says duration decreases with each use, not cooldown. So, yeah.
I mean, that's both of us.
The duration. All right, it's a good tooltip. So
it's time to get some Schoolhouse Rock.
The ending of this story, Draskell, is that yes, you were living in the past. It does not reduce cooldown.
That's fair.
I feel like this could be a YouTube series. Two boomers read Dota items.
Reading is tough sometimes, man.
Those are my favorite moments in the Purge patch notes, where he spends 10 minutes doing math on something that he realizes he read wrong.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a good time.
Now Pikachu mid. Oh, this is a nice setup. Swap from Excel, a great save. Naive in the back line trying to get the Rubik. Excel will still fall first. Chronosphere comes down. Can they actually kill Pikachu? He's BKB'd and pretty tanky. They do get him. Buyback from the DP now. Rubik also falls.
I guess he bought back with no Exo just to secure Roche. I mean, that has to be the only reason, right?
I think so. It's a 2 for 2. Magical was the other one that went down.
He probably could have held it, to be honest, because... So in these type of situations, you have the outposts, right? Like, even if they bought back on the Void, you'd have at least, like, 10 seconds to buy out and TP. I'm kind of surprised that he bought back there, actually. Because they definitely don't need him for the actual Roche.
Yeah.
He solely buys back for the purpose of, like, flexing and saying, don't come over here, we're going to get it. But Cyber Legacy, even in the situation that Magical had buyout, even then, you can buy out late, you know? You don't have to do it instant.
Well, the net worth lead hasn't grown that much. Like, look at that graph, and Cyber Legacy have at least stalled things. This hold might be difficult without Chrono. Still 95 seconds, and the Exorcism's back up. Did they? No, they didn't use the Refresher Shard. All right, so they have 2 Exorcisms here. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do if you're Cyber Legacy? What's your out here? You kind of need someone to cut top, honestly. That would probably be the best thing that you could do. Another arrow just hits Dream in the middle of the map.
All right, there's the glyph. So tier 3 falling quickly. Of course, Naive in the front lines here. Satanic is up. They're going to try to use the DK to take some of the heat. He'll BKB. They get Naive pretty low, actually. But Magical, now he's going to be done. That's the dieback. Backdoor protection for a moment, but gets broken again as now Big Num falls. He has a buyback and wants to burn it. They've at least got Pikachu to use his BKB, but oh wait, he's got a Refresher Shard. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Void trying to pressure as hard as he can. He gets to the tier 2 tower. So now is the question, Draskell, do you just Refresher Shard and keep this going, or do you save it and reset? I think you just go.
I think the safer play is to save it only because you are in such an advantaged position. So, like, let's say he does it and he just pops it. He's basically wasted half the cooldown on the Exo already, right? Because he's like 60 seconds off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could do either way and it would probably be fine because they just don't have Chrono and they just simply can't fight without it. But yeah, he is going to go for it. Okay.
All right, the Void Spirit, he's back. There's the buyback.
I mean, it's fine. Like I said, they're just like, even if they do Chrono now,
Chrono's
they're
up.
still going to get Mega.
The final hold. Can they do it? Cyber Legacy, they'll jump in. BKBs popped by both. They need Pikachu. They've got to take heat off this barracks. 300 HP as the Void's stunned. No Chrono for you, buddy. He does not have buyback. Megas come out, and now things look rough. Cheese eaten by Pikachu, and that will demoralize CL into a GG. And Drasky, baby, we got a game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, this could have very easily been the result of game 1 as well if Khan had just played a little bit better on their high ground push. So it's not really surprising that they take the second game.